Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I must say, first of all, that when I walked in, I had such a wonderful feeling. This is the first time that I've been back since we have opened, and I didn't realize I would have such an overwhelming feeling of just wanting to be here and what it just does to you to be in this house. So thank you very much for being here too. First of all, the ringing of the kansho signifies the start of the service. Please sit quietly. Please rise for the meditation, followed by the chanting in Pali and English of the Vandana and Ti-Sarana on page 165 of the Brown Praises of the Buddha book. Please be seated. Sensei will read an aspiration.
Fortunate are we who, having heard the divine truth and having been given everlasting life, may leave this human existence in peace and tranquility, be enveloped in Amida's infinite wisdom and inconceivable compassion. We honor with deep gratitude the members, families, friends, and pets of the Windward Buddhist Temple who have passed away in the month of February. With deepest gratitude to the boundless, inconceivable blessings of Amida Buddha, we take eternal refuge in the three treasures of this teaching. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu.
We will now have the remembrance of those who passed away this month in any year, individuals and pets. The names of the deceased will be called. Please go forward to offer incense. After the last name is called and incense offered, Reverend will hit the gong several times. He will then go directly into the Sutra, Gassho with Amida, on the sheet given to you. Akiko Sumikawa, Aiko Nishita, Chisaye Sumikawa. Yukimi Nam, Larry Goya. Takuichi Hiramoto. Dorothy Ono. Matsuzaemon Kukino.
Dorothy Ono. Did you read that?
I read that. Did you want to Oshoko?
I recite Amida's name with deep joy and gratitude. I Gassho with Amida, trees and grasses and flowers all grow in great compassion. This light shines through all of the world. I Gassho with Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall. From the seed sprout new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. I Gassho with Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in Nembutsu. I Gassho with Amida. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. I Gassho with Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namu Amida Butsu. Then I feel great compassion. I Gassho with Amida. Nembutsu in work and play. Every day with Amida. Every moment filled with light. Gassho with Amida. Remember the golden chain. Kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I Gassho with Amida. In the clear bright morning sun. In the fading light of day. In the silence of the night. I Gassho with Amida. Namu Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power ignites my life. I Gassho with Amida. shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Please rise and turn to page 4 in the red Jodo Shinshu service book for the recitation, the Creed 2. Casting off the self-power mind, varied practices and disciplines, we
entrust ourselves single-mindedly to Amida Tathagata to save us in regard to the one great matter of birth. With one thought moment of entrusting, we know that we are saved and that our birth is settled. After this, we say the name in joy and gratitude, repaying the Buddha's graciousness. We acknowledge gratefully that we are able to hear and understand this teaching because of the benevolence of our Master having appeared in this world and of the successes in the transmission, the good teachers whose words were not shallow. Beyond this, we will observe the established rules of conduct throughout our lives. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Please continue to stand for the Gatha When We See the Golden Sun on page 173 of the Brown Praises of the Buddha book. Thank you. Please be seated. Sensei is our speaker today for our Dharma talk.
No one knows, no one knows, no one knows. So, I'm not hearing too well this morning. But I have my hearing aid on, you know. You know, once I was talking to my father, and he couldn't hear me. I said, "What's wrong with your hearing aid?" He said, "I have it on. How come you can't hear me?" "Oh, I didn't turn it on." He said, "Why?" "I'm trying to save battery." I'm not trying to save battery. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome once again to our monthly Remembrance Sunday right here at the Windward Buddhist Temple. Well, you know, this past week was filled with very troubling news as we witnessed and as we viewed via the television and newspapers of Russia's attack on the Ukraine and its vision to, I think, incorporate it back into its fold. I think maybe, I'm not totally understanding of Putin's motive, but it seems to me that his vision is to once again create another USSR. I don't know. With all the sanctions being placed on Russia, not only by the United States, but also by the NATO countries as well, including Japan, there's no telling what's in store for us, what's in store in the world that we live in. You know, in the larger Sukhavati Vyuha Sutra, one of the three principal sutras of the Honganji, it discusses this problem at length, but maybe we won't go into it at this time. So let's put our hands together in reverence. Those who reach the pure land of happiness return to this evil world of the five defilements, where like the Buddha Shakyamuni, they benefit sentient beings without limit. Namu, Amida, Butsu. Well, this morning, as we have done for several years now, we stop and we reflect upon the cherished memories of our loved ones, including our dear pets who have passed on and entered into the realm of the Pure Land. It gives us an opportunity to take pause in our oftentimes busy lives, doing our day-to-day activities, and to meditate together as a Sangha. Because, as we often say in Buddhism, we need to gather and really understand that, as this once English poet by the name of John Donne wrote in his poem, no man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less, as well as if a promontory were, as well as any manner of thy friends or of thine own were. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind. And therefore, never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. It tolls for thee. It tolls for all of us. We ring the temple bell today. Not only for those that the families, it's for all of us, because we're all together in this world. John Donne said so, as I just read to you. And so as we recall the countless benefits bestowed on us by the deceased, there arises within us a feeling of gratitude toward them and to others for making this life possible for us. As Buddhists, we believe that we're all interconnected, and that we are here today because of the causes and conditions that have allowed this to be. Today and each month at the temple, I'm happy to see so many of you and your friends come to remember your loved ones that have passed away. This morning, and very often, as we observe this service, I'm reminded of my visits to our family grave in Nuuanu and other members of my extended family as well, as we did the chanting today. I wonder if any of you have been to the Mauna Lua Gardens in Honolulu. Formerly, it had a cottage that was built in 1850 by Prince Lot, who would later become King Kamehameha V. And it was later willed to Mr. Damon, and finally it became a park. There you would see a famous monkey pod tree in the gardens. This particular tree is very famous in Japan, and it is called the Hitachi tree. As you know, Hitachi is the name of a Japanese electronics company. The reason why this tree is so famous in Japan is because of the scenic video of that tree. It's the garden at Mauna Lua. It's aired on TV with the famous jingle. In Japanese it says, Konoki Nandoki, meaning, this tree, what kind of tree is this? It's a jingle that they play on TV. As I mentioned, the TV commercial is from the Hitachi company. It became very popular in Japan soon after it was aired on television. I don't know if you know our Reverend Yamagishi, a young minister from Japan, who was at the Butsu at one time, and he really wanted to visit this garden, but was not able to because of the COVID-19 restrictions. He told me that he viewed it from the parking lot one day. He was so impressed by the tremendous size of the tree. He said, it was so beautiful to his eyes. The tree proudly stands in the garden, large garden with a strong and thick trunk, big and widespread branches, and its countless multitude of green leaves. I too saw this tree once a while back, and in fact, we had one just like it in Pro City Peninsula where we once lived. I don't know why my father planted it, but he did when he was a young boy, I am told. It was a huge tree. So whenever it rained, we didn't know it rained unless we went beyond the tree. So when Reverend Yamaguchi was on the mainland, he helped a member to translate some documents from Japanese to English. These documents were his official family register from Japan. You know, that it's called a Koseki Tohon. His grandparents were from Japan, and he had been trying to complete his family tree into English. But when he heard the word family tree for the first time, he could not understand its meaning. So he searched and searched, and finally he found the meaning and the reason why people call it the family tree in English. Well, we try to draw a picture of the relationships with family, relatives, and the older generations. The picture is interestingly drawn like a tree, like a big tree. Therefore, people call this picture the family tree. It was interesting to him to learn of the meaning of this phrase, the family tree. They don't say it in Japan like that. There was a wonderful poem that was once written by a well-known Japanese poet by the name of Mitsuo Aida. He wrote the following poem. My father and mother altogether 2. Parents of my father and mother altogether 4. Parents of parents altogether 8. So if I count this way, back to 10 generations, altogether it's 1,024. What about back to 20 generations? To my surprise, over 1 million people. From the infinite past, a life rally baton has passed on. Here, now, I live with my baton. This is your life. This is my life. So this poem tells us how precious and wonderful our lives are. If you count the number of our antecedents back 10 generations, we learn that one life is connected with that of 1,024 lives. Even more surprisingly, if you count back 20 generations, we're able to know that one life is connected with over 1 million lives. And if only one of those billions of lives were missing, well, we wouldn't have been born in this world. And we would not be here today enjoying this wonderful existence. Enjoy being here together with one another in this wonderful temple of ours. I think we had a tiny glimpse of this feeling when we first came together after 2 long years during the pandemic. When we read this excellent poem, we should realize that our lives have been connected with uncountable many lives since a long, long time ago. If you draw a picture of your own family tree, it would seem that you would be standing under the tree of many lives as the monkey pod tree at Mauna Loa Gardens. This wonderful poem of Mitsuo Aida tells us that we are living today because of uncountable life that spans many generations and years. So therefore then, we realize and so show our gratitude and our appreciation with our deceased loved ones. Similarly, in addition to the Hitachi tree in the Mauna Loa Gardens, that is a reminder of the interconnectedness of life, is a cypress tree that grows in the Monterey Peninsula. So if any of you have been to the Monterey Peninsula, and you must have seen this large cypress tree that has been growing there for so many years. Its limbs are twisted, and the leaves are just hanging on to the branches. People visit there, they wonder, how in the world can this cypress tree survive against the cold and oftentimes very, very windy climate? Well, if you walk up to that tree, you will learn that the reason it can survive is because of the deep and widespread root system, because of the strong foundation that had been laid down that took years and years. The solitary cypress tree is able to sustain itself and live. It is just like you and your family. Without the deep foundation and the aspiration of all your family members that have come and gone, without their deepest aspiration for their succeeding family members, all of you are here today. All of you are here today, enjoying this life that cannot be repeated. Our founder of Shin Buddhism, Shinran Shonin, tells us in his book, the Jodo Shinshu, or translated as the true teaching, practice, and realization, that those who have attained birth in the Pure Land may lead those who come after them, and those who aspire for birth may follow their predecessors, thus following one after another endlessly and uninterruptedly until the boundless sea of birth and death is exhausted. We often recite the homages together in our services, how it is to be born into human life. Now we are living in it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One, and now we hear them. If we do not gain emancipation in this present life, we may not be free from ill-faring in the ocean of births and deaths for kalpas. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures. Vasubandhu, the second of the seven masters of Shin Buddhism, who was from India, often likened the mother turtles of laying of his eggs in the sand and burying them there, and though he wrongfully thought that they returned as the eggs were about to hatch. He talks about the mindfulness of the mother sea turtle's eggs that makes it possible for the eggs to hatch. So he uses the term thought food, to characterize the mother turtle's thoughts as nourishments for her offspring. Vasubandhu uses the sea turtle to illustrate the power of thought in Buddhist practice, to portray one as one who feeds all sentient beings by keeping them in mind. And so as we hold these remembrance services, let's make these thoughts your spiritual food. Your departed mother or father, sister, brother, spouse, or child, they have been keeping you in their thoughts, providing you with nourishment for your spiritual self. So there are three significant reasons for a remembrance service or memorial service from a Shin Buddhist perspective. He teaches us the importance of kansho, gratitude to our ancestors and to our parents. If our parents are living, we should translate our love and gratitude in our daily lives. If deceased, then we should be able to express our sincere appreciation as we remember them and as we recall past events together with them. It gives us an opportunity to reconnect, so to speak, with our ancestors and express our gratitude to those who gave us life. He teaches us the importance of dana, or selfless giving. We should practice dana, not just among family members and close friends, but to all others around us who makes possible our very existence. And through our participation in these services together, actually we're given the opportunity to further our appreciation of Buddhism, and more importantly, to nurture and develop a deep appreciation for the compassion of Amida Buddha. upon reflection of the hardships and sacrifices made by those we memorialize and remember, we will develop a clear understanding of the interdependence of all life and of all sentient beings. We will then be able to better live a life of thanksgiving and become deeply aware of the Shin Buddhist way of life. So thank you very much for all of you for attending this family remembrance service today, as we all gain much appreciation for the lives of those who have passed away on any given month. We truly express our appreciation and gratitude for their lives, making our lives more meaningful and fulfilled. And so I encourage all of you to remember your loved ones together with us at these monthly remembrance services. It doesn't matter if they were Buddhists or not. We are all together in this life. All of our lives are fulfilled with one another. There is a Japanese saying regarding the interdependency of all beings that even the brushing of sleeves between passers-by reveals a deep connection in past lives. Namu, Amida, Butsu.
Thank you, Sensei, for your always educational Dharma talks and a reminder of appreciating our roots. Thank you very much. Please rise for the Gatha Namu Amida Butsu 2 in the Brown Praises of the Buddha book on page 104, and then continue standing for the Nembutsu on page 107.
So long, life is a mere ripple, existing only for an instantaneous moment and disappearing forever. But each life is a unique experience with beauty and truth all of its own, with no identical counterpart in history, and none absolutely the same in the future. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida.
Thank you. Please be seated, and with more words of wisdom, prudence.
Good morning. I'm glad to see so many of you today. Thanks again for today's volunteers. We haven't seen Naomi for a while, but welcome back, Naomi. She was our MC. Bob served as our greeter, and then of course we had Alan checking for vaccine cards, and Cynthia served as our usher. I'm hoping that in the near future we won't need to be checking vaccine cards, but you know, you never know. Refreshments again today is served to us by Team A, and thank you, Lisa, for playing the piano. Can you imagine? It's the last Sunday in February. It's already March. I don't know about some of you, but time seems to go by so much more swiftly, you know, the older I get. Yeah. When you're young, you can wait forever. When is Christmas? When is whatever? When is school going to end? And now I think, oh my gosh. But anyway, let's see. So next week, we have our first Sunday in March, and Reverend would be our speaker. And next month, we also have one of our special services coming up, our spring Ohigang, or the equinox. So that we will have a guest speaker. I don't have any other announcements unless some of you have. Otherwise, as usual, Team A has provided us some refreshments, so please help yourself to it. You can take it home if you want, or you can hang out and talk story for a while. So thank you. Thank you, Sensei.